Okay, so welcome back to the fourth episode in this series of business-like breeding here at James's farm. So this is where we've been discussing genetics and making a plan for breeding this year's crop of maiden heifers. So just to recap, what we've established as a heifer inventory for the autumn calving, when we know there's a spread of genetics within the group, which means we probably don't want them all to produce purebred females for future replacements. We'd also rather have beef calves from these inferior animals rather than black and white male calves, and history has shown that sex semen can work well in this herd. We also know that we've got some great proven cows in the adult herd here behind us, and we'd like to try and get replacements from some of these, and we're tempted to have a go with sex semen in some of these adult cows as well. So to make good breeding decisions, we need to define some breeding objectives. So James, what sort of cow are you looking to breed?
I think it's essentially we like the stealth cows, those that we don't even notice are there, and then we're very surprised when we get to milk recording how much they produced. The ones that I know are the ones that we've had to work on either feet or mastitis, and I don't want those cows in my herd. I want the unrecognisable cow, basically. I don't want anything that's, and I want uniformity. I want to be able to treat them all as one animal. Robust, not too big. Just basically everything right, and that's where I'm rely on you to.
No, that's fine. And like you always say to me, James, don't worry too much about milk in the first place. Get the health and fertility and milk will follow. Would you agree with that?
So we feed and breed for health and fertility, and the yield is whatever comes on the back of that, and we've been doing that for quite a number of years, and yields have on the back of it gone up on their own account, if you see what I say. Yeah,
excellent.
And our life has got easier as we go.
An easier life. That's what we're all after. Okay, that's great. Okay, and just to help us get those decisions right, let's quickly take a look at the herd's genetic information combined with some milk recording information. And as well as areas to focus on, it can also help us indicate whether the environment is limiting the performance of these animals, which is crucial to know before we make some costly bad decisions.
So if we look at the national benchmarking data here and look at James's herd compared to that, we can see for PLI he's in the top 10% already, producing good kilos of milk and fat, sort of middling to a bit low on components, so maybe something to think about. Still very average on lifespan, not too bad on fertility, and maintenance in the sort of top third. So this can help us look to see where we might want to be making improvements, and it's a good starting point. So in this graph, we're looking at milk recording data in terms of milk output from the cows, and we've combined that with the genetic merit of the sires of the cows currently in the herd. So each column of dots represents a group of cows in the herd by a particular sire with a milk PTA along the bottom here. So in this case here, the milk PTA of the bull is 200 for these daughters. Going to the right, therefore, the sires are milkier bulls, and we would expect the daughters of those to be producing more milk, and this would produce the slope that we do see going up towards the top right. From the numbers we can see from this calculation, the return for every milk kilogram PTA from the sire, we are getting a return on average of just under 1 kilo of milk. So we're not quite getting full expression of genetic merit in this herd, it would seem. We know that expression of genetics is affected obviously by the environment, and even though milk is highly heritable, there's still environmental effects, obviously. So it may be that in James's case, it's a sensible thing not to focus totally on milk production. He seems to be perhaps at the moment nearing the sort of peak of his milk output in terms of kilograms of milk. So that's something for discussion and to review continuously going forwards. So in James's case, it may be that the herd is beginning to plateau out in terms of output of milk, regardless of genetic merit. It's something we need to continuously monitor going forward. Obviously, as we make environmental changes, improvements in feeding, housing, etc., we may see the response to the genetics getting bigger, and that's obviously what we want to try and do with all the traits, so they can be expressed as much as possible.
Okay, James, so it looks like, having looked at the data from the heifer side, we're happy with using PLI. It seems more appropriate than an autumn calving index. We don't want to penalise ourselves on milk too much. So what we'll have to decide to do now is work out a way of which heifers we want to breed to black and white and what we want to breed replacements from, and we'll be taking that through to the adult herd and making those decisions as well. So we'll talk about that next time. So join us then. In the meantime, if you want any more information or want to chat more about the things we've been discussing, then you'll find out more information on the website or phone the number that's coming on the screen now, and we'll see you next time.